Listen, right, I get fun and games, I get edgy jokes and edgy humour, but fucking racism, it's not acceptable. You can't do it. It leads to the dark side. Don't look up. Don't look up. Two Girls, One Cup. Don't Look Up is the latest big Netflix-released film. It is directed by Adam McKay, the director of Big Short, Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, and Vice, which I haven't seen. It has a big ensemble A-list cast with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, Timothy Chalamet, Ariana Grande, Ron Perlman. There's so many people in this film. 2/3 of the budget must have gone towards the cast. I've seen a lot of chatter on the internet about this film. Apparently critics don't like it, but audiences do. A lot of people who like it accuse the people who don't like it of only not liking the film because they disagree with the politics. It's quite a political film. Yeah, it's obviously a political film. I think it's very reasonable to dislike this film for reasons completely removed from politics. I'll start off by mentioning that Ariana Grande, the big pop star woman, because she looks like 12 years old perpetually, she is a cast member playing pretty much a version of herself, but just a different name, like Lily something or whatever. There's a moment in the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and Ariana Grande all have spots on a news show. Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are the main characters. They are there to announce that they've discovered a comet that's heading for Earth and is going to basically kill everyone. And Ariana Grande is there to talk about her recent breakup with, some guy, some rapper or something, your usual bullshit, celebrity shit. So Ariana Grande has her news bit and everyone's like buzzing over it and everyone's tuned in to watch it. And it's all like, oh, she's really shallow and thick and it's all sensational. Then when Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence go on and they announce the asteroid that's going to kill everyone, they barely command a fraction of attention that Ariana Grande got. And it's all a big commentary like, oh, look what it's like, look at social media, look what news is like, that we all pay attention to these silly distractions, these trivial, sensational bullshit. Oh, we don't pay attention to the real issues. Very clear message. And my feelings while watching that were, okay, I get it. Not a particularly astute observation, not a particularly original observation. I fucking get it. That was my general feeling of the entire film. And it's a 2.5-hour movie. It's like, I get it. Okay, you're not expressing anything particularly unique. It's not really insightful. Clearly a big dig at America. It's clearly trying to be a commentary on Trump America, on public opinion and polarization, reactions to stuff like climate change and inevitable impending doom that we are all ignoring, celebrity culture, just everything that your average 12-year-old TikTok enjoyer is already aware of. Leaving the subject matter out of things for a moment, this film attempts to give The Matrix a run for its money with the bad editing. It's not as bad as The Matrix, but it's not for lack of trying.
Presidential statement to the American people. But we're not going to tell the press about it ahead of time because that way it'll have the appearance of...
It's so choppy and the cuts are abrupt in between conversations. The scenes don't flow organically. It feels hackneyed and contrived.
Take the hit on this one.
Yeah, but we'll take care of you down the road, Jocelyn.
It happened in The Matrix. I've literally just talked about it in my Matrix review. It literally fucking butchers an entire scene just by making the editing too choppy and jarring, like you're watching a trailer. Adam McKay in the past couple of years has received critical acclaim because now he makes real movies. The only serious Adam McKay film I've seen is The Big Short. I didn't watch Vice because I just really wasn't interested. The Big Short obviously was an interesting subject matter. I just don't think he offered a particular interesting satirical eye to the situation. I thought the humour was simplistic and juvenile, and that's coming from me. Lazy 13-year-old boy shit. Like, oh, here's Margot Robbie in a hot tub. I'm like, fuck off. Fuck! I admire him for trying to do something different with his career, but still he retains that same level of poorly conceived humour that his Will Ferrell films possess. In like 2010 or 12, he made a film called The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. I watched it again recently with a couple of friends. There were 4 of us, right, and there was probably a laugh every 50 minutes or half an hour, which is really not what you want when you're watching a comedy. You want it to be at least like a laugh a minute, laugh every 2 minutes. When we put a South Park episode on, we're fucking laughing every fucking second. But yeah, it was just sort of a bit dead. It doesn't deliver as a good comedy. It's like, okay, well, it's just a little bit shit, isn't it? It's not awful. The reason I'm talking about his roots in comedy is because Don't Look Up is attempting to be a satirical comedy. It has the social commentary side of it, but it also has the general humour. And the general humour, like the jokes here and there, all fall flat. All just remind me of like the shit generic comedies from like the early 2010s.
Sit tight and assess.
Sit tight.
And then assess. The sit tight part comes first, then you gotta digest it. That's the assessment period.
It's that vein of comedy where everyone is just a dick for no reason, and that's supposed to be the joke, that this person is a dick and he's saying rude shit, and it's not funny and it's not interesting. Jonah Hill is an actor that I actually like a lot now, just because of all the things he's done, and he's pretty funny even in like stuff like 21, 22 Jump Street, but this was just like the most unfunny I've seen him in like 10, 15 fucking years. Because he like Superbad, he was funny in that. If The Big Short was a step up from films like Talladega Nights or The Other Guys, Don't Look Up is almost a step down towards that general direction. In fact, I'd probably say it's maybe worse than The Other Guys. I don't know, because I didn't laugh once at this, and I laughed like a few times I think at The Other Guys. As I was saying about this people being dicks and that being the joke, there's a moment where Leonardo DiCaprio's talking to Ariana Grande, and the punchline of that interaction is she says, "Mind your own fucking business, you old fuck," or something like that, because he asked her about her relationship, her big breakup, and the joke's supposed to be like, oh, everyone knows about this breakup, it's all over social media, she's capitalising off it. But when someone in person ask her about it, she says, oh, that's not your fucking business. Like, I guess that's supposed to be the joke. It's still just shit. The thing about the poor editing that makes this different to The Matrix is this is very much intentional, like an artistic choice. There's so many times where it abruptly cuts away from a scene as if that person's getting cut off, which can be funny in certain times, but the timing is just god awful in this, and they keep doing it. It becomes a gimmick. Meryl Streep is very unlikable in this film, and I guess that you could say that's the point, because she's supposed to be the Donald Trump stand-in, but really she's more so grating and irritating, because her and Jonah Hill are just these one-dimensional villains that are just bad because, oh well, they're supposed to be Trump and you all know who Trump is, so we don't even have to bother with fleshing out these villains. It's completely relying on your knowledge of Trump, so they just don't give them any character. It's so fucking gay. Sometimes those abrupt cuts are done for comedic effect, but other times they're done in like a serious vein, or like an emotional, trying to be profound or commentating on something. But because it's so poorly executed, it just comes off as like film school level pretentious. There's this one cut halfway through the film, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Appearance of a braking emergency, sort of.
Good things come to those who wait.
What the fuck even happened there? What kind of cut is that?
Braking emergency, sort of.
Good things come to those who wait.
And at multiple times there's also these insert shots of stock footage of like animals, human civilization, insects, organisms, like showing like, oh, this is the world, because the world is what we're losing here, it's all about this. And it's just so, again, student film level pretentious.
You pretentious douchebag!
Like, come on, like it's pathetic. It's Adam McKay thinking, oh, I'm an artsy director now because I made a film about presidents and I made a film about stock or whatever, and I was nominated for a few Oscars. But he has no idea what he's doing and no idea how to make something thoughtful out of the subject matter he's tackling, like a thoughtful message conveyed through satire.
We're gonna get the news out there, one way or another.
It's real and it's coming.
There's no substance to find underneath the surface level of this film. It's all blatant, yeah, you know exactly what it's criticising immediately. You know exactly where it's going. There's no rewatchability. It's not intriguing. None of the characters are likable. Jennifer Lawrence plays Jennifer Lawrence. I didn't realise how dull she is as an actress. It's been a while since I've seen that Silver Linings film, but really, like, has she been good in anything? Has she been substantial? Leonardo DiCaprio does an alright job because he's playing a weakling kind of character, which is different. He usually plays like an alpha male. He's doing an accent that's like a poor man's Rick Dalton. And the most interesting part of the whole film for me was him starting off as a humble man of science who just wants to get the truth out, get the facts right, but then getting suckered in by this Twitter culture and making a brand for himself. That was the one thing that was unexpected. Like a Neil deGrasse Tyson who's more about the Twitter and the sensational side of it now than he is about the science. Like Dr. Phil, or I don't know if that's a good example. Meryl Streep is just phoning it in, but she wasn't really given a three-dimensional character. Jonah Hill's irritating and has reverted back to his most unfunny self. Ariana Gandhi, I mean, she's not going to be a good actress, is she? Timothée Chalamet's in this as well, and that feels like such a empty novelty, like just another big name, so he's super underused. There's nothing that this film does or expresses that, say, South Park hasn't done already in a much more interesting and funny way, like the most ballsy time to do all that. I'm going to show you a shot and guess who these people are supposed to represent. Cate Blanchett did an alright job. That was interesting because I didn't recognise who she was at first. I was like, holy shit, it's you, it's Galadriel. Mark Rylance was also in this film, and I like Mark Rylance, but he is just flat out bad in this film.
This is evolution. This is evolution of the human species.
He's a big tech billionaire. He's supposed to be a stand-in for like your Elon Musks or your Jeff Bezos or whoever.
I know who you are. My algorithms have determined 8 fundamental consumer profile types. You are a lifestyle idealist.
He's doing like a Kermit the Frog, Jordan Peterson voice, but it's so gimmicky, and if it's supposed to be funny or if it's supposed to be like intimidating, I don't know. It's none of those. It's just fucking stupid. I don't know, like, why is he doing Jordan Peterson? Jordan Peterson's a psychologist, but his whole company and like all of that like big tech stuff is just so bland. And look at this, oh, it's so advanced, man. We're getting so close to the future. If this film was in better hands, it could actually be really good, because there is some interesting ideas in here. It's just like, there it is. Okay, what now? It's like, it's all simple and obvious. And I think it's quite fucked up to accuse people who aren't giving it good reviews of, oh, you're only doing it because you don't agree with the politics, or you're right wing. Like, you want to go fuck yourself? Seriously? It's a shit, boring, unoriginal, obvious film. Like, I know this is ridiculous to say it now, like I'm like fucking halfway through the video, but the synopsis of the film is a comet is discovered that's heading to Earth, and it's big enough to basically kill everyone. Like a doomsday, and the scientists who discover it try and go to Congress, go to meet the president, played by Meryl Streep, and say, look, it's coming for us, but because of like politicians, like, oh, this won't help me if I do this now, or it's like, and you know, it's all like, oh, she uses it to get ahead in the election and all that, and everyone's exploiting it or trying to make light of it and not take it seriously. You know, it's like global warming and everything we know about politics already. It's not an original lens, it's not insightful. There's a way of making films about topical issues without it feeling pandering or cheesy or preachy, but this isn't it. This is not the way. South Park don't always hit a home run, but a lot of the time they cover the most relevant things in a unique, cool, creative, funny way that's interesting to watch. Honestly, and just fucking put a random episode of South Park on. It'll be better and more insightful than fucking Don't Look Up.
This isn't cocaine, it's the COVID vaccine, isn't it? I'm not putting that shit in my body. You guys were gonna trick me into taking the vaccine? My body is a temple, and I'm not taking that shit!
And even though, like, Leonardo DiCaprio does a good job, none of the characters are likable. I wasn't rooting for any of them, if I was supposed to. It pretends like it has a heart at the end, like it gets all sentimental, which a lot of fake satires do when there's like, oh, we're not really a black comedy because there's an emotional core. We're actually cheesy Hollywood film all along. It's like 2.5 hours long, and really it's an 80-minute concept. Just because of how obvious it all is. It's the sort of shit you'd hear on a podcast where a guy goes, oh mate, imagine if like there was a comet headed for Earth, and the state of the world right now and all that politics, what would you reckon would happen? Like, I bet we wouldn't even stop it. Oh my god, we wouldn't even do anything, because we'd all get bogged down in the politics. It's like, okay, that's a cool idea, but not for a 2.5 hour film, and not in the fucking hands of Adam McKay, the genius director behind Step Brothers. Mate, social media, man, it's so sensational. It distracts from real issues. Thanks, TikTokers. So yeah, none of the characters are likeable, the social political commentary is surface level, paper thin and uninteresting, and as a comedy it fails because it's not funny. So yeah, if you're one of those people who's going around trying to politicize people not liking this film by saying that they're all right wing, like, fuck off, go fuck yourself. People like you are like the perpetuators of surface level, uncivil discourse on the internet. That's why I like film, not politics. Film is nuanced. Politics is a disgusting, rigid mess. Well, that about does it for this instalment of Bacho Reviews a Film.